Hey, what is going on, Scorpios? Butch Tarot here. I am going to do your 1 week read. It is a general read, so it may not resonate with everyone. It is for your Sun, Moon, Rising, and your Venus. For all you cross watchers, roles can be reversed. Always feel free to comment down below. It may be the last time you see me until Christmas. I've been thinking about doing a live before Christmas. We'll see how that goes, but if not, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I know everybody doesn't celebrate Christmas. There's Hanukkah, there's Winter Solstice. I mean, there's so many ones that I probably don't even know. But as long as you're surrounded by people that you love and, you have a great time, that's all I hope for you. With all that being said, let's get it. Universe, what do we have for Scorpios? What message do we have for Scorpios? All right, Scorpios, let's get this. First and foremost, Scorpios, I mean, I feel like this may be someone you already know. For others, this is someone that is new, but is definitely a new energy to it. What I mean by that is that it could be someone that you already know, but things are changing, or someone new. But first thing I have, I feel like there's a lot of spiciness to this. I feel like there's a lot of physical energy going on between the two of you. And it's kind of one of those types of energies where kind of hard to miss it. And I feel like with this person, I don't know what you did, Scorpio, but you got this person addicted. That's what I see. We're going to unpack it, but that's what I'm seeing. This person, they're drawn in. They're drawn into you with that Empress. They're drawn to you. That allure that you put out, they're picking it up. But they're thinking about you and only you. And I feel like with this person, this is where I'm getting it from, okay? We have the Fool card. And then we have that King of Wands. This person knew right away what they wanted from you. They were all in. It's not just a physical though. I don't want to, belittle this. It's not just a physical. I feel like they were physically attracted to you, yes. But they're attracted also to the way they feel when they're around you. Scorpios have this gift of, how do I say this? Let me think on it for a second. The King of Wands, they want to grab you, hold on. They're all in. This is the beginning of a new journey with that Fool card. Scorpios have this ability of being very singular. And what I mean by that is when, and no offense, you're either someone's cup of tea or you're not. You're either someone's cup of tea or you're not. And I feel like that goes for a lot of people. But I feel like Scorpios, it's that type of energy. You know, and it goes both ways. From the Scorpios, I know they either like you or they don't like you. There's no middle ground there. This person likes you. I mean, maybe I understated that. We have the Ace of Cups and the Lover's card. So, I mean, this is new love. You know, this is a soulmate connection. This is how they see it. You know, they knew from the moment they met you there was something there. The closer they get, the bigger it is. You know, it's that iceberg love that I like to talk about. You know, I also, another term I put on the Lover's card is not just the iceberg love, like there's more to see, which I love about this card is it kind of sells the iceberg love because you can see some above, but there's more going on below. We're getting spicy. We're getting spicy tonight. But you know, I also like the term that I put on this card as well, is like that firefighter. Everybody else is running out and this person's running in. You know, it's that type of energy. I feel like this person is the type of person that just shows up. You know, and like I said, it's not, I mean, they know what they want. And they're sure as hell going to nurture this. You know, they're going to show up for you. And that's huge. You know, I mean, I feel like this person, even though there's a part of this person now, this is the part where I want to be very particular. You know, we have the Seven of Swords, which is, I feel like they're hiding how they feel because they're still not sure. You know, like I said, I feel like this is new. They're still not sure exactly. You know, have you ever been attracted to someone you're not exactly sure what attracts you the most? Because I feel like there's a few things that attract this person. But it's like I said, it's not just the physical. It's not just how you know. It's not just how you make them feel, which it's all of those. But they've never felt this drawn to someone, so I feel like they're a little bit unsure with that moon card. You know, a little bit of uncertainty. So I feel like they're kind of playing it close to the chest. But it's hard. I mean, they're fighting the urge to tell you that internal struggle. They want to tell you, and they want to tell you it all. But they also don't want to scare you away. Because, I mean, I feel like this person is already, I mean, they see the potential here with that Page of Wands. They see the potential. They know this could be great. And they know they want to be a part of it. And I feel like they're ready to make a commitment, even though it's soon. And that's what I said. I feel like there's a part of them that's holding that back a little bit because they don't want to seem overzealous. You know, they don't want to seem over, you know, they don't want to go over the top. Not just yet. You know, this is the beginning of a new adventure. Like I said, you know, I definitely get a soulmate, twin flame type vibe. But one thing I'm sure of is we have the King of Cups. You know, this is not someone playing games. We also have the Queen of Cups. This is someone that they know what they want. They want you. They're not exactly sure what's different about you, what sets you apart that they feel this way. And I don't think they've ever felt, you know, I get the impression they've never felt this way before. So it's all new for them. And they're not really sure what these feelings are, but they know they want to see them through. They know they want to nurture them. I mean, that, you know, that it's that nurturing, loving energy. Like I said, they're thinking about you and only you. But what I do see is moving forward. You know, I feel like they're gonna want to get to know you. You know, the ins and the outs, the goods, the bads. You know, what makes you tick. You know, they want to get to know you. Establish that trust. Like I said, they're not going anywhere. You know, and I feel like even though there's that physical energy, I feel like they're not trying to sully this with that. You know what I mean? You know, I feel like they don't want to make it all about that. That's not what this is about for them. They don't want you to think that that's what it's about for them. You know, they want to establish that trust. You know, like I said, and it's not the thing. It's not that they're not dreaming about it. It's not that they're not dreaming about you. You know, I mean, I feel like I said, I feel like this person's already fantasizing about that future. You know, they've already skipped past the first date. They're planning date 2 and 33. I don't know what you did, but they're addicted. You got them. You know, and I see a lot of happiness moving forward. Uh, you know, we also have the Nine of Cups, which is that emotional fulfillment, filling up all your cups. You know, you fill their cups, and they're going to want to fill yours. And I feel like that's the real draw here. Like I said before, um, you know, we have the Eight of Pentacles to finish this up. You know, this person's going to show up for you. They're going to put in the work. You know, and I mean, they're ready for this adventure. They're ready to go on this adventure with you. It's a bit of a spicy adventure. Because there's a lot of physical energy here. And I don't want to downplay it, but I also don't want to, like I said, I don't want to muddy the water with it. I don't want that to be the only thing that you see out of this. I want you to see that there is a lot of passion, but there's also a lot of emotion as well. I mean, what I see is a long and happy sex life and love life. And how can you beat that? Very passionate. Like I said, I mean, they're just drawn to you. They're not sure exactly 100% why, but they're not walking away. They're not going to mess this opportunity up to you know, to worry about it. Sometimes you just know what you want, even though you don't know why. That holds true in life altogether, though. I mean, there's sometimes we're just drawn to something, and sometimes part of the mystery, which this is, part of the mystery is part of the fun. You know, finding out what's different. Like I said, they're gonna want to know what makes you tick. They're gonna want to know the ins and the outs, the good, the bad, the ugly. They want to know you. With this person, like I said, lots of fire. We got Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. I mean, we have some Gemini, some Aquarius. We had Taurus. Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. Such a great mix. I was, you know, just it happens. It happens. Like, you know, and I mean, it happened to me with my partner. When I met her, I don't know what was different about her. Like, I know that, again, there's a few things that you know that is different, you know? But what really draws you in is a mystery. And I like to solve mysteries. And we're in 16 years, and I'm still don't know if I figured it out. But that's the fun of life, being mysterious and, you know, something you're passionate about, something that you care about. You know, I feel like we're drawn to the things in life, and like I said, it's not just relationships. I mean, things that you love to do on your pastimes, your hobbies, your career, all those things. There's things that you're drawn to, and a lot of times we don't know why. It doesn't stop the draw. You know, it doesn't stop us from wanting it. It makes us want it more. You know, like with tarot, I never knew. Like, I was into astrology from a young age. I always really enjoyed astrology, until Rose started doing tarot. I never really knew anything about tarot. I mean, I knew what, kind of passing by, and I heard about it. I had friends that kind of did it, but it wasn't until she started doing it that, when she started telling me things and it really made sense, and I started answering questions that I always had, that's when I kind of dove right in. And it draws me in, and it continues to draw me in. The more I learn, the more I want to know. And not really sure exactly what drew me in the most, but I'm still here and I'm still going. It's mysterious and I love it. And since you're here, you probably love it too. But that's one thing, when I look back at my old videos, where I've come. I mean, I've been doing this on YouTube for 5, almost 6 years now. And I'm still learning. There's so much to learn. There's so much to, learning about your houses and how, different things affect different things. And, just alignments and all these other things. There's so much to learn. And just when you think you learned a lot, you find something that makes you realize you didn't learn enough. But anyway, like I said before, happy holidays. Be good. Take care. Stay safe. I hope you are surrounded by people that you love and that love you back. And be good to each other. Stay safe. See you soon.